From Comiskey Park in Chicago, Illinois, WGN is proud to present Chicago White Sox baseball. Tonight is the White Sox versus the Carmines of Boston. And hi, everybody, and welcome to beautiful Comiskey Park. I'm Ken Harrelson with Tom Patrick as the Sox get ready to take on Boston in the first of a four-game series. And maybe the Sox 4-2 in that road trip. The hitters were coming around, but tonight, Sox hitters got their hands full.
Well, they're probably the best pitcher in baseball right now. Roger Clemens has 9 victories, but he's been struggling to get number 10, and it's not his fault. His offense has not been that good. Boston, arguably, is probably the worst offensive team in the American League today, so Wilson Alvarez has a chance tonight. Of course, he struggled in his first start against the New York Yankees.
All right, tonight it'll be some fire coming off that hill here at Comiskey Park. Alvarez against Clemens and Wimpy. We'll be back with the rest of the starting lineups right after this. Terry Bevington, as you can see, they are out of uniform. Not an uncommon occurrence today because of the luggage situation with some of these airlines.
You mean somebody has actually lost luggage with an airline here?
Golf clubs, too.
Not in this country. There you see the crew. At home plate is Drew Coble with the crew cut there. Durwood Merrill's going to be at first place, and I want to know where Durwood got his pants from. One of the very full-figured guys on the team, obviously.
Willie Thompson.
I'm thinking Willie's a good candidate for that. You see, they're wearing the White Sox gray uniforms. I guess those are the pants that the trainers or the equipment men and those guys use rather than the players' pants, certainly. But there's old Durwood. Got his hat blocked perfectly. And we are going to have baseball. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't have given us a chance 5 hours ago that would be baseball tonight at Comiskey Park, but there they are. The Sox take the field for game 1 of this 4-game series with the Carmines from Boston. We mentioned that Boston, when they throw Roger Clemens, have got a good chance to beat anybody, but they have been struggling offensively, and this is the lineup that Butch Hobson, that is, will throw at the Sox tonight. 2 games under 500. They are 5th in the AL East. Leading off at second base, Jody Reed. Batting second in center field, Bob Zupsik, a pleasant surprise from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Wade Boggs will hit third. He'll play third. Cleanup man right fielder Tom Brunansky. Jack Clark is the DH. He'll bat 5th. He's followed by the first baseman Mo Vaughn. Tim Naring is the shortstop in the 7th hole. Batting 8th in left field, Phil Plantier. And the 9th place hitter behind the plate, Tony Pena. Defensively, the Sox line up with Tim Raines in left field, Lance Johnson in center, Danny Pasquale will play right. Robin Ventura is the third baseman. Craig Grayback, 5 for 5 last night, is at shortstop. Steve Sachs at second. Big Frank Thomas plays first base. The battery tonight of Wilson Alvarez and Ron Karkovice. And a look at Wilson. He's 0-2 on the season with a 4.50 earned run average. He has started 1 ball game, appeared in 14 games as a reliever. Wilson worked 32 innings, same number of hits allowed, but he has walked 24. That is a key problem area that Wilson has got to throw strikes with those 3 pitches that he has. The American League is batting .277 against Wilson Alvarez so far this season. In his last start, that was Saturday at New York, he pitched 4 innings. 3 of them he was great. After the 4th, he was relieved. 4 hits allowed. He gave up 3 runs, walking 3 while striking out 2, and really lost it in the 4th inning. So at that point, Gene Lamont went to his bullpen. The Sox went on to lose that game 8-7 after they had a 4-0 lead. So Alvarez against the Red Sox in his career has no decisions, but an outstanding 1.80 earned run average in 5 innings of relief this year. And there's the skipper, Gene Lamont, part of our pregame show tonight. He seemed very loose, relaxed. Sox over the 500 mark for the first time in quite a while. The White Sox are 8 games over the 500 mark playing here at Comiskey Park, 23-15. And coming off that 4-2 road trip, they've got to feel that they've got some momentum going into this 4-game set. So there'll be 3 games at Baltimore, 4 in Boston before the All-Star game. So it's imperative they keep that good flow going in this series. So we're ready to go. Alvarez getting ready to work to Jody Reed. And once again, here's the Hawkaroo.
All right, Wimpy, thank you very much. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball at beautiful Comiskey Park. Jody Reed will lead it off, hitting at .262, a homer. He's knocked in 22. Reed has had good success against the Sox this year. He is 7 for 18 as the first pitch misses low. 5th meeting of the season between these 2 ball clubs. They have split the first 4. Sox won 2 here. Boston won 2 at Fenway Park. Outfield straight up as there's a strike and a count 1-1. And what Wimpy was talking about, the 24 walks in 32 innings from that young 22-year-old southpaw. The big number that surprises you really is the .277 batting average the opposition has against him. So that'll tell you, to go along with those 24 walks, he's been 2-0, 3-1 and a whole bunch of times.
Yeah, that shouldn't happen. He shouldn't be giving up that many hits with the kind of stuff that he has.
1-1 pitch. Ventura. One gone. As we mentioned, the Red Sox hitting .246 as a club. They can't run. They've got 25 stolen bases. They've been thrown out 24 times. They can't hit home runs. They only have 34 of those. They've got probably the second or third best park in baseball to hit home runs in. So that'll tell you why, with about a $40+ million payroll, they're 2 games under 500.
What that old adage, we may not be big, but we're slow.
Here's Bob Zupsik. He's been a pleasant surprise for this ball club. Won a game the other night with a grand slam home run in the 9th inning. What does Zupsik mean in Polish, Wimpy?
Big, strong Polish guy who can hit home runs.
Grand slams in bottom of the 9th.
Yeah.
Huh?
Star.
That's off the end of the bat. Lance Johnson held his ground. Now he's there. Can of corn. And there's 2 out.
Oh, there's a whole lot of wind up there tonight.
That's good for us.
Buckle your chin straps, because there's going to be a lot of funny-looking fly balls and line drives out in the outfield today. Yeah, the Sox should have an advantage if the elements come in. I asked Gene Lamont about that, and he thought that maybe in the pregame show today, and he thought that maybe if there was an advantage, it would be to the White Sox speed.
No question. Plus the fact, as you look at Plantier, Zupsik, and Brunansky, that is not a good defensive outfield. Here's a clean-shaven Wade Boggs. Boggs hitting at .266, 6 homers. He's knocked in 24.
What? 260? No, you meant 366, didn't you?
Not.
Nope. That's amazing.
Fastball slashes it foul. So the count evens at 1. Boy, this field is amazing. Roger Bossert is an absolute. He's a treasure. Well, that drainage system he put here, that field is just great. Can't see water anywhere. That's up and in. 2 balls and a strike. Talking to some Boston people about Boggs and his non-hitting. They say he's been swinging for the most part what looks to be a tired bat all year, only he's not tired. Graybeck sucks it out. A little nonchalant throw there, draws Thomas off the bag. He puts it on him. 1-2-3 for Wilson. Nothing across after having a play. It's a Carmine's nothing, and the Sox coming to bat.
And Alvarez worked a 1-2-3 top of the 1st inning, and here's the way the White Sox will line up against Roger Clemens. Leading off in left field, the Rock, Tim Raines. Batting second at third, Robin Ventura. Big Frank Thomas plays first base. He hits third. Cleanup man DH George Bell. Danny Pasqua, just activated from the DL, will play right field, batting 5th, followed by center fielder Lance Johnson. Steve Sachs is at second base in the 7th hole. Craig Graybeck at short will bat 8th, and the 9th place hitter, catcher Ron Karkovice. Defensively, the Red Sox have Plantier, Zupsik, and Brunansky. Sounds like a United Nations meeting. Boggs, Naring, Reed, and Vaughn around the horn, and the battery tonight of the Rocket, Roger Clemens and Tony Pena. Roger Clemens going after victory number 10 tonight. He's 9-5, outstanding 1.84 earned run average. Started 16, completed 6 of them, 3 shutouts, 127 innings pitched. He's given up just 93 hits, 31 walks, 112 strikeouts. My goodness, that's awesome. In his last start, that was the 27th versus Milwaukee. He went 8 innings, got a no decision. Carmines blew that one, came back and won it late. Extra innings, gave up 8 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. The American League is batting just .206 against Roger Clemens in 1992. Roger in his career against the White Sox, 10-6, but with an outstanding .233 earned run average. And I still think he's a great pitcher, but I hate those black high tops.
Well, as you mentioned, he's 6'4". He pitches like he's about 7'2". He can wear anything he wants to wear out there. Roger Clemens will take that tongue depressor, get some of that wet dirt from between his spikes, as it'll be Raines, Ventura, and Thomas here in the bottom of the 1st inning. No score.
Dial it up.
One of the great pitchers of all time. So here we go. First pitch from Clemens. Upstairs. Rock hitting it .249, 2 homers, 21 RBIs. This year against the Red Sox, he's 2 for 15. Around to the left. There's a shot down in the right field corner. That's trouble. He's going to run for a little while here. Here he goes into second. He is flying going around second base on his way to third. He is there with a triple. Yes.
Well, we saw Rock Raines do the same thing to Nolan Ryan. Look for that fastball and turn on it. Hit it hard right into that right field corner. Of course, they're playing him to hit the opposite way. That's the 4th triple of the season for Raines. And take a look. Fastball. Well, little cutter coming in on him. They want to pitch Raines inside, but you see Timmy's not diving out over the plate. See how little his head moved right there. Hands were allowed to work. Boy, was he quick there. And he could go all the way.
He did it. Well, as we talked about Nolan Ryan down in Texas, and you talk about Roger Clemens here, they take the guesswork out. You got to look fastball as Robin Ventura steps in, takes a fastball outside. Clemens and Nolan Ryan don't give you a chance to think about your mechanics up there at the plate. You just got to go up there and look for that dead red and turn it around if you can. Robin hitting at .310, 7 homers, 40 RBIs. Got the head out right there. Actually, the Sox, in that game at Fenway Park against Clemens, that's probably collectively the best they have swung the bat in one game all year long.
Yeah, I think they lost that game. What was it, 6-3? But they hit line drives all over that ballpark. Steve Sax swung the bat well against him, too.
Hit 4 line drives.
Yeah. Couple hits.
The 1-1. Watch out, Robin. 2 balls and a strike. With Frank Thomas, the big hurt on deck. Clemens 77 games over the 500 mark in his career. He's won 143. He's lost 66. Fastball. Fouls it back. So the count 2-2. Boston at 3.32 team ERA. That's good. Splitter low. So the count goes full to Robin. Sox have won 9 out of their last 11 ball games, coming back 4-2 on that trip. There's a splitter, nubs it. Here comes Raines. Here's a throw to home. Rock didn't slide, puts a tag on him easy. Oh, Lordy. With nobody out.
Yeah, that's not a good play right there. You know, I think Tim Raines was losing his footing as he was getting towards home plate. I think he might have slipped a bit. There you see the pitch down and away. It might have been the splitter. But you can see Raines, the contact play is on, and he just couldn't get his legs right. It looked like the slide.
I'll tell you what, that contact play is not a good play with nobody out.
Oh, no. Yeah, you're exactly right.
If he slides right, if he goes real hard and slides right there, he may have a chance. Meanwhile, history.
Yeah. Well, with 1 out, you can do the contact play, but certainly you don't want to try it with nobody out.
Man.
Give the next guy a chance.
That's something we didn't rate in our dugout show with Dan Roy tonight. Has been base running this year by the Sox. Subpar. So 1 out, Ventura at first, and here's Thomas. Hitting at .299, 11 homers, 51 RBIs. 3 for 12 this year against the Carmines with a homer, and he's knocked in 2. Well, when you get a chance against Roger Clemens, you can't screw it up.
No, you really can't. You got to take advantage of the opportunity when you get that guy to third base, especially with nobody out. And you can see that he made a great pitch to Ventura. He threw the splitter down and away, and he got the number off the end of the bat. So you concede that out, but you try again with this big guy right here.
That ball hit deep into left center field. Way back. Plantier looks up. It's off the wall. Here comes Ventura. He's rounding third. He's going to score. Sox lead is 1-0. Yeah. He heard it, Wimpy. That wind just knocked that ball down.
Oh, yeah, that ball looked like it was going to go halfway up the bleachers. He smoked it. Pulling the ball for Big Frank when he goes just left of center field, especially against Roger Clemens. Obviously, he dialed it up a notch right here. Take another look at it. Fastball, well, it's down. It's about thigh-high middle of the plate, and Frank just smokes it. That is not a quick outfield, as you mentioned earlier, with Plantier, Zubcic, and Brunansky. And nobody's able to come close to this play. Big Frank with his 51st. Check that. That's his 52nd RBI of the season. He now has 18 doubles. And he made up for the base running boo-boo right there.
I tell you, I thought that ball was way out of here. That wind, you could see it once it got up there. It just absolutely knocked it down. So here's George Bell. George hitting at 260, 10 homers. He's knocked in 50. So a triple by Raines, a bullet, and a bullet double by Frank Thomas. All right, before we show you our picks to click, you at home get yours. Outfield straight up for Bell. George 4 for 13 this year against Boston. Now Clemens backs it down. Gas on the outside part of the plate, and the count evens at 1. And here are our picks to click tonight. There you see Skip Ellison and our crew took Robin. Wimpy took the little hurt, Craig Graybeck, and I'll go with George. You jumped right on that 5 for 5, didn't you, Wimperoo?
I know you would.
I was going to get him if
Mr.
nobody had him.
Ultimate front runner.
Breaking ball right there, missed from Clemens. First breaking ball he's thrown. And a count 2-1. Rogers been featuring the fastball, except to Ventura. Threw him 2 splitters, a 3-1 splitter and a 3-2 splitter. There's a base hit. Back to the middle. Here comes Thomas. He rounds third. He will score. Yes. Sox lead at 2-0.
You're unbelievable. That's 51 runs batted in for George. He didn't hit it good. He got it off the end of the bat, but he's so strong. He was able to fight it off in the center field for an RBI single. No chance to throw out Big Frank. Ball really slows up in the outfield tonight, so guys will be able to take extra bases. That pitch is almost in the dirt. Roger, I think, didn't know how hard it was hit. There's Big Frank scoring easily. 2-0 Sox, and we almost made the first trade in pick-to-click history today, and you wouldn't do it.
Danny Pasquale making his first start since coming off the DL. Sean Jeter was optioned out to Vancouver today. Here are the numbers on the hammer.
I can't believe you wouldn't make that deal. Bell for Graybeck.
1-1 the count with Lance Johnson on deck. No runs, no hits for the Carmines. 2 runs, 3 hits for the White Sox. Well, Vaughn playing behind Bell as that fastball fouled out of play. Ball and 2 strikes to Pasquale. Now Roger Clemens coming in has lost 2 in a row. Look at that, Wimpy. Last time he lost 3. Well, you don't get 77 games over the 500 mark by losing 2 or 3 in a row very often.
No, he doesn't like that losing. There's no question about that. Well, he's had so many opportunities to pick up that 10th win, and his team has just kind of let him down. He should have 12 wins at least.
That ball hit into left field. Phil Plantier fighting that wind a little bit, taking it away from him. So we mean there's the wind that knocked down that ball hit by Frank Thomas. So there's 2 gone.
Well, depending on what jet stream you hit tonight, man, it is going to be. And I think this might be a night to remember for outfielders.
This is very reminiscent of that afternoon game a few years ago. Andy Hawkins pitched a no-hitter against the Sox and lost it 4-0.
Yet across the street. Yeah.
Boy, that wind was howling. Here's Lance. 263, a homer, 15 RBIs, 3 for 12 this year against Boston. There's a slider strike. So he starts one dog off with a breaking pitch. Butch Hobson.
Was he that great at the start of the year?
No. Looked like he was blondish. Tell you what.
You think managing in Boston is like a tough job? You think it's mentally?
Outside of New York, managing in Boston is the toughest place in the American League to manage in. That's into left field. Plantier is there. Makes the catch. That'll retire the side, but not before. The Sox do some damage. 2 runs on 3 hits. No errors. A man left. After 1, they lead the Rocket 2-0. That's a story here in the top of the 2nd inning. Sox lead at 2-0. For Boston, it'll be Brunansky, Clark, and Vaughn to face Wilson Alvarez. And what a nice little gift you could give that 22-year-old southpaw making a start. His 2nd of the season, but making it against Clemens.
Well, he's got the ability, no question about it. Now he's just got to settle back, throw strikes with all of his pitches.
Well, he should be stronger, Wimpy, than his first start. So here's Brunansky. Takes it low. Brunansky hitting at 275, a couple of homers, 22 RBIs. Boy, you look at this Boston club. The most RBIs in this lineup tonight, 24. Boggs has 24. Mo Vaughn has 24. Jack Clark's got only 24 RBI.
Man.
Outfield shaded a bit to the right. Graybeck charges underneath. Big Frank. So 1 out, and it'll bring up the designated hitter Jack Clark, hitting at 220, just 3 homers and just 24 ribbies.
Oh, he's scuffling. If he's going to get anywhere close to what he did last year, he's going to have to go on a surge. Well, all these guys are really. You just wonder what could possibly be happening to the lumber in Boston.
Well, you got to figure one thing. They're 8.5 games back, and if they can find their offense at all with the pitching they have, they're still in this thing. As we talked about last year, though, Wimpy, I just think that they got a bad mix chemistry-wise on that ball club. And it's just from talking to a lot of Boston people who are familiar with that surrounding. Wow. 2-0 the count to Clark. Everybody's pointing fingers at each other.
Oh, boy.
And when that starts, you're dead.
Yeah, especially when you're playing in such a controversial city. There he misses with the fastball down low. You know, like, it's tough enough to play in Boston as it is. And if you're bickering among yourselves or pointing a finger at somebody else rather than having
rather than looking in a mirror.
That's right. Rather than looking in a mirror, right.
That's ball 4. So the first Boston base runner. Clark at first with 1 out, and here comes Mo Vaughn. Mo has been up and down. Started the season off, went down to Pawtucket. Hitting at 216, 3 homers. He's knocked in 24. 1 for 9 this year against Sox pitching. Outfield shading him to the left. They're spread out. Thomas playing behind Clark at first. There's a fast. Where was that one? Pitch misses, and the count 1-0.
I thought there was a couple pitches to Clark that were close enough to be called, but not getting them early on. Wilson Alvarez.
That was right down the teacup.
We have seen that.
21.
And we've seen that from both sides now. You know, it's not a complaining type thing, but I'd sure like to see that strike zone get that height back up.
Fouls it away. A ball and 2 strikes. Just one game in the American League. In progress now. Bottom of the first inning at Royal Stadium. Brew Crew leading Kansas City 1-0. In the National League, top of the 5th at Three Rivers. Sweet Lou's Reds shutting out Pittsburgh 2-0. Later on, Montreal at San Diego. San Francisco will host the St. Louis Cardinals. And the Phillies take on the Dodgers in L.A. L.A., of course, on that very long homestand. This was supposed to be a packed house tonight, sold out, but it's certainly understandable with the terrible weather that we had in Chicago starting at about 2:30 this afternoon. That pitch is fouled away. I mean, it was a beautiful day, hot. I looked at the temperature gauge in my car. It said 91 degrees. All of a sudden, the clouds came in, and 10 minutes later, it was down to 62.
Then you realize something was up then, right? It dawned on you?
That wind was scary. That wind, those clouds, the lightning. They mentioned there were numerous injuries around the Chicagoland area. Two. Wilson looked like he wanted that pitch right there.
Well, it's a breaking ball. Looks like it's, oh boy, where it crossed home plate. To me, it looks like it's bell tie. It was a hanging breaking ball that probably should have been hit hard.
That's ball 4 as Clark took off. So 1 out walks to Jack Clark and Mo Vaughn.
Well, for the most part, in recent years anyway, Hawk, Boston has been one of the more patient hitting teams. They will accept a walk. You know, you've got guys like Clark who usually walk 100 times a year. Certainly Wade Boggs is going to do that. And what was that? Early on, the Sox won the ball game, but walked, what, 15? No, wait a minute. It was about 17, wasn't it? That game, it was a afternoon getaway day. First series against these guys.
Bunch of walks.
Bunch. Well into the teens.
Here's the shortstop, Tim Nehring. Outfield straight up, spread out. He's not giving you anything, so you're just going to have to throw some good strikes. Not a whole bunch of speed on those base paths. Jammed him. Graybeck over to Thomas. And there's 2 gone. So 2 out, and that'll bring up the struggling Phil Plantier, hitting at .224, 5 homers, 23 runs knocked in. Plantier 4 for 13 against the Sox this year. Outfield shifts around to the left. Takes the ball.
Friday, July 17th, the Sox will host the Brewers at 7:05. All children will receive a notebook courtesy of Iron Kids Bread. For tickets, call Ticketmaster at 312-831-1-SOX. And they're just trying to remind those kids that soon they would be going back to prison. I mean, school.
Some activity down in the Sox pen. Right-hander Brian Draymond starts to loosen up. Sox lead at 2-0 here in the top of the second inning. 2 on, 2 out. Pops this pitch up. Graybeck makes the call. Wynn's got it, but he makes the catch. And that'll retire the side. Nothing across, no hits, no errors. 2 left after an inning and a half. 2-0 White Sox. Bottom of the second inning. It'll be the lower third of the order for the White Sox. Sox, Graybeck, and Karkovice. You're talking about Roger Clemens. 77 games over that 500 mark. And let's take a look at some all-time winning percentages. There you see the Doc. Look at that, 69.5.
Dave Fouts, whoever he was. Whitey Ford, Bob Carruthers, Roger Clemens. 3 of the 5 are very familiar. Did you play against those other 2 guys?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Fouts and Ford and Carruthers. They were good. You know, a little of this, a little of that. A little mud ball here, spit ball there, a little Vaseline, or KY, whatever. Here's Steve Sax. Saxy hitting at .228, a homer, 25 RBIs. Takes the fastball, misses, and the count 1-0. Of course, you know, way back when, Wimpy, when you were just in diapers.
Yes.
The spitball was legal.
Well, that was the turn of the century.
Checks it up on the fastball. Over to Clemens, and there's 1 gone.
I don't know how to take that. Let me think about it for a couple innings.
There you see Kansas City has come back to take a 2-1 lead over the Brew Crew. And Cincinnati leading 2-0 in the 5th. Dave Martinez, an RBI single. Here's Craig Graybeck. 5 for 5 last night. Raised that average up to 276 to go along with those 18 doubles, a triple, and 2 homers. Fastball low and away. What an evening for Craig. That feels good.
It does.
I told you, I went. That's a shot just foul. I went 5 for 5 one time.
No, you went 6 for 6.
6 for 6 it was.
Right.
That's right. And I was playing for the Junior Chamber of Commerce. We were playing the Optimist.
Could the Optimist see?
Optimist couldn't pitch.
That is great.
10 years old.
You know, 5 for 5 too, and he got him, and it was a close ball game. It turned out to be an 8-5 game.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of times the guys go 5 for 5 at 17-1 or something like that. I did it once. Took 27 innings to get him.
There's a shot base hit. He is 6 for 6. So a little hurt.
Yes. Boy, Craig Graybeck is really seeing that ball well right now. 5 hits yesterday, 3 of which were doubles. Take a look. Fastball, and he can touch this. He just drops the head of the bat on this one. Hits a shot. Boy, Craig Graybeck's head is just staying almost stationary. And when he does that, he is doubly tough. Up about 280 right now. He went on that road trip hitting .233.
Here's Karkovice. Well, when you're facing Roger Clemens, it's hard to move your head very far. He don't give you enough time.
That's right. He's gonna be like Zorro up there.
You know, you look at Craig Graybeck right there, just 5'7". And of course, they're having the Western Open out at Cog Hill, and there's only one guy out there in that golf tournament can hit the golf ball further than 14 can, and that's Daly.
Yeah, he shot 80 today, didn't he?
I don't know.
I thought that's what I had heard.
But he's the only one in that field that'll knock it by Graybeck is Karkovice. He can hammer it. I do know that Blaine McAllister shot 64.
That's good.
Yeah, and my guy shot 65. Ian Baker Finch out of Orlando. Nice. Ian Baker Finch is one of the sweetest human beings that ever stepped 2 feet on the face of the earth. Well, he is a sweetheart. What a good guy. And he can play. He can putt. The 0-1. Whoa. Oh, a little crossfire almost. So it's 0-2. He's got my money, too. Just off the plate. A ball and 2 strikes. Outfield straight up. 2-4-0 for the Sox. No runs, no hits, no errors for Boston. They're going to hold him close. Raybeck. He's not what you call a speed merchant out there on the base paths. He's 0 for 3. Roger doing a little something there, throwing it either a 2-seamer or turning it over. Count hangs at a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, it really looks like he's trying to get it on the hands of Karkovice right there, breaking it down and into him. So all he needs is another pitch.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be turning it over to get it on by his hands. He got in on his hands right there. Boggs over to Jody Reed. They force Graybeck, and that's out number 2.
That was not an easy play for Wade Boggs. Yeah, Boggs still playing good defense, even though he's not hitting up to his capabilities. Here's a jam shot, like a splitter. In on the hands, or he could be throwing that 2-seam fastball. Tough to distinguish between those 2 pitches from Clemens. And you can see he gets in front of that ball, and Jody Reed turns himself into a first baseman as he comes off the bag, or the third base side of the bag, to make that tag play.
So now Karkovice is a threat to go. He's got 7 in 10 attempts. Here's Tim Raines. Started this game off last inning for the Sox with a triple. Takes the fastball strike.
Saturday, July 18th, the Sox will host the Brewers at 6:05. After the game, all fans will be treated to a fabulous fireworks display courtesy of Miller Lite. For ticket information, call Ticketmaster at 312-831-1-SOX, and they are terrific. People from Miller Lite sponsoring that great event.
Curveball blocked nicely by Tony Pena. So the count 1-1. First curveball he's thrown. Tony Pena bounces around back there. When he first joined the Red Sox, was a terrific addition to that ball club. Attitude, pizzazz, and you got to wonder if some of those other guys are not bringing him down a little bit. There's a slider low. Karkovice takes off. Bad throw. He steals it. That's number 8.
He had that easy. Tony Pena had no chance right there. He got this one on Clemens. Boy, Kark got a terrific jump right there. There you see the hard breaking ball. Pena comes up. He throws a big breaking ball there himself. Ball that sinks way into the runner. No chance for anyone to catch it. And Kark off to the races. Straight steal. He's got his head down all the way. He's chugging. Element of surprise. It worked.
Two-one pitch. 3 balls and a strike with Ventura on deck. No sign means heat. There it is. I like Tony. I like to watch him catch. He'll just get back there sometimes. And he'll go to Roger. He'll hold his glove up and just say, come on.
Yeah, like whatever you want to throw, go ahead.
Right, come on. No signs whatsoever.
Well, yeah, there was a time when you could not possibly run on this guy. When he was a youngster with Pittsburgh, he'd throw anybody out. You could not run that gun.
Let's see what he does right here. Well, he's going to give him one.
Yeah, looks like fastball away. Whoops. That was his initial sign. Now it's something different.
That's ball 4. So a 2 out, 2 on. Here comes Robin. Robin last inning with Raines at third. Nobody out. Nub one down to Wade Boggs. Raines broke for home. They got him easily as he did not slide. Beats one into right field. Here comes Karkovice as Raines holds at second. Kark scores. Sox lead at 3-0. Yes.
Well, the picks are clicking tonight. Robin Ventura, Skip Ellison and the crew have him. And an RBI single for Robin. That is his 41st on the season. Let's take a look at the pitch. Fastball out over the plate. And Robin rips it in the right field. When Robin Ventura is pulling the ball, he's so much more dangerous. Watch where he makes contact. Head right there. He's almost transferring his head from his front shoulder to his back shoulder. Gets the head of the bat out and nails it.
Is that legal? Here's Big Frank.
Yeah.
He just killed one last inning. Takes the slider strike. Looked like it was going to be about 3/4 of the way up of those seats in left center field. That wind just knocked it straight down. Got a double out of it. Slider off the plate and the count 1-1. Raines at second. Ventura at first.
Three runs, 5 hits off Roger Clemens, and an inning and 2/3. That doesn't happen very often.
Who'd have thunk it? One pitch. Up and in. Ball really wasn't that far inside.
Nope, just a little wake-up call.
Clemens, former defensive end at the University of Texas. 3-1. What's new? Did you guys play Texas when you were at Houston?
No, they were afraid to play us. Me, the University of Texas at Austin.
Ian Pena having a little trouble hooking up right here.
That's what we called them. They called us Cougar High. So it.
Turn it up. 35. A little tardy right there on the heat. So the count goes full with 2 out. Raines and Ventura will be off. Outfield bunts there straight up. Look at this little duck snort. That's going to fall for a base hit. Here comes Raines. Ventura's held at third. Sox lead at 4-0. Yeah.
Take a look. Oh, it's a breaking ball. He missed the outside corner, left it over the middle of the plate. See, Big Frank just kind of fights it in the right field. Didn't do anything spectacular with it, but he's just so darn strong. He didn't have a good swing, but he is so strong. When he makes contact, he is certainly dangerous. So the Sox lead at 4-0. 6 hits off Clemens. Rich Gale. He's a big one. He is their pitching coach. He's out to the mound right now. Runners still at the corners with 2 out.
Obviously, Rich Gale has done a pretty good job with his staff as they lead it in ERA. The much beleaguered rookie manager, Butch Hobson. Clell Hobson out of Alabama.
Say that again.
Clell Hobson. He's a very strong individual, but not quite as strong as his dad, Clell Sr.
Clell Sr.?
He got arms like Popeye. So here's George Bell. George had an RBI single in the first inning. There's Popeye, Don Zimmer.
Look at him.
Said this might be his last year.
No, you hate to see guys like Zim leave the game.
Pitch inside. George picked up his 51st ribby. Jammed him right there. Move on. We'll take it. Step on the bag, but the Sox do some more damage, picking up 2 runs on 3 hits. Whereas they leave 2 after 2. 4-0 Sox. Here in the top of the 3rd inning. 4 runs on 6 hits for the Sox. No runs on no hits for the Carmines. Roger Clemens been scuffed around here a little bit, something that you really don't expect. Roger coming in with that 9-5 mark, but a 1.84 Erie. It'll be Pena, then the top of the order, Reed and Zupsik, to face the 22-year-old southpaw Wilson Alvarez. Pena hitting at .229 a homer. He's knocked in 18. There's a fastball strike. 23 for 15 this year against Sox pitching. One and one to count. Low 2-1. And an update from Royal Stadium. Kansas City 4. Curtis Wilkerson. Solo homer. That park's too big for him.
It sure is.
Must have been inside the Parker. Here's a 2-1. There's a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, says the outfield. Around to the right.
That Kansas City Park's is too big for a lot of guys.
Kansas City Park's like playing Cog Hill. It's large. Of course, they don't play it back to where you and Dan Rowan and Bill Borson and myself play it.
No way.
Up high.
Nobody's that crazy. We like the next time we'll tee off for those adjacent cornfields. We'll make those.
We go out. The 4 of us go out to play Cog Hill, and I get them all the way back on the tips. I'll tell you, that was funny. Here's a payoff pitch to Pena. Ate him up, broke his bat. Robin cuts in front of Graybeck, has time, guns him out, and there's 1 gone. Talking with Dan Rowan, he said he played out there last week, and it is absolutely magnificent. The greens were perfect, and of course, it doesn't surprise anybody with Joe Jimsick, Mr. Golf here in Chicago, his son Frank. So evidently, they did an excellent job in getting that course ready.
No doubt about it, and certainly one of the better courses in this great country.
We're so fortunate here in the Chicagoland area to have probably the finest golf courses in a 50-mile radius of any place in the world.
Yes, sir.
Jody Reed, the leadoff man, bounced out to Ventura his first trip. There's some gas. Well, I'll tell you, there's some fire coming off that hill tonight.
Yeah. Wilson Alvarez very crisp tonight with that fastball. If he throws strikes, he should have a good outing.
Change. How about that, sports fans? And the count 0-2.
Well, that changeup would be more and more effective late in the count, especially if he's got 2 strikes on an anxious hitter.
Reed, 19 doubles. He is always up there amongst the league leaders. In fact, led this league in doubles 1 year. Just off the plate. So the count 1-2. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors for the Sox. No runs, no hits, and no errors for the Carmines. Two and two. Wilson 3-5 in his young career. Now I get him on a change again. First strikeout for Alvarez. And as you look at this good change right here, a reminder that Leaf Candy and the Sox have teamed up to offer you a sweet steal of a ticket deal this year. All you got to do is just bring 6 leaf candy wrappers and application to window 1 at Comiskey Park or Ticketmaster and receive a ticket to any Sox home game in July. So look for the display wherever leaf candies are sold or visit customer service booths at Comiskey Park. Bob Zubsik takes the breaking ball high.
Well, that'll be a great out pitch for Alvarez. If he gets ahead of these hitters, that was just a nasty changeup right there. Breaking down and away out of the strike zone.
Ball hit hard. One dog is there, not to worry. 1, 2, 3 for Wilson after 2.5. Sox lead it 4-0. Sox here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. It'll be Pasqua, Lance Johnson, and Steve Sachs to face the Rocket, Roger Clemens. Making his 17th start of the season. Rocket has completed 6 games this year. He's thrown 3 shutouts. He's only given up 5 home runs in 129 innings. Walked just 32. And he has 112 punch-outs. So here's the hammer. Pascal for 1 fly to Phil Plantier, his first trip. Curveball. He did not go, says Big Tim McClellan. Fastball hit hard. Right to Reed. 1 gone.
On Monday, July 20th at 7:05, the Sox begin a 3-game series with the Orioles. It's Chicago Tribune half-price night. You can take advantage of reduced ticket prices and see the Sox and O's play. Call Ticketmaster at 312-831-1-SOX.
Here's Lance Johnson. He also flied to Plantier's first trip. Watch out. That one just got away from the Rocket.
Right.
Now Drew Coble's going to go out. Just chat with him a little bit, so let's don't start anything here.
Well,
That's a tough thing to do. You know, I mean, it's tough on Drew Cobles. Look at Rocket. I mean, he said, what's going on? You know, the one pitch gets away from him a little bit. Butch Hobson coming out, and justifiably so.
Well, let's take a look at this pitch that got away from him a little bit. And you be in Lance Johnson's shoes. It's way high. Certainly,
that's what I'm saying.
It's not going to. It's not even.
Hey, if Rocky wants to knock you down, he's going to knock you down. If he wants to bury you, he's going to bury you.
That's right.
All he's going to do if he wants to drill you is throw it right behind, in this case, Lance's right shoulder, and he is hit.
Sure. No, there was no intent to hit right there.
No.
But it just made a jump-started Lance Johnson's heart a little bit.
Well, you know, this is one thing we talk about with the Oakland Ball Club. And this is one thing I give Tony La Russa a great deal of respect for, is the fact that Tony will sit over there and he will moan and cry every time an inside pitch comes to one of his hitters, but he's doing it for a reason.
Sure.
All he wants to do, and then maybe he'll have one of his pitchers throw one inside. Then all of a sudden the umpire's got to go out and give a warning. Now there's no more pitching inside. Now you got to go up there and pitch those Oakland hitters out over the plate, and they're going to kill you.
Thank you. It's great managing.
It is. It is. I give him all the credit in the world for it. That's all he wants to do, is just get the umpire to give that warning, and then the Oakland A's have a much better chance of beating him.
Oh, boy.
But make no mistake about it, as I said, if Rocky wants to hit you, he's going to hit you. If he wants to knock you down, he's going to knock you down. He's not afraid out there. And Lance is not afraid up there at the plate either.
No, he isn't.
Here's the 2-0 pitch.
Well, I mean, there's a certain amount of fear in everybody as you go up to the plate. You strike that a little bit.
That gum right there is. And we talk about that. Wimpy and I both played for quite a while, and that's over into the Sox dugout. And, you know, for all of the youngsters out there, the high school kids and the college kids, don't feel bad if you have some fear up there at the plate, because 99% of the major league players have fear at the plate.
Darn right. I remember reading an article of Mickey Mantle was just terrified a number of times at the plate.
Certainly. So don't feel like that you're don't have a chance to make it because you have some fear up there at the plate. And don't think that all major league hitters are all macho he-men.
Yeah.
But what you do is you learn how to adjust to it and compensate for it.
Yeah.
Change up from Clemens. Jody Reed. And there's 2 gone. Well, I've been to the plate before. I was just scared to death.
Stan Williams.
Stan Williams,
your
oh
favorite
man.
guy.
I tell you, you can't imagine the fear that's running through me. Wow, my adrenaline was pumping so hard.
Well, you can imagine how I felt, too, in the days with the Dodgers when every time you knew back in the old days a situation arose where that guy was going to get hit in that spot. I was the guy that used to pinch hit for the guy who was going to get drilled.
Austin was your good buddy, huh?
And he loved me. Yeah. That was no fun.
Here's Steve Sachs. Fastball inside. Sachs, he tried to check it up his first trip. Bounced out. Move on to Clemens. It really puts the men in blue in a very difficult position as well, though. There's a slider. Strike. They shouldn't have to make those decisions. You know, the players took care of this game pretty well on field themselves for an awful long time. And the players, if they would take the power out of the umpire's hands to whereas they couldn't give the warning, so to speak, the players would again take care of this game. And I think you see fewer fights.
That's a good point, yeah.
Fastball hit hard, base hit. That a boy, Saxy.
Well, you look fastball, you get it, you hit it. That's what the White Sox are doing tonight against Roger Clemens. That is their 7th hit of the night. Saxy got the barrel of the bat on it. Like his fanny may have flown out of there just a little bit, but his hand stayed back, and that's the key to hitting. Those hands stay back, you got a chance. And he nails it over Jody Reed's head into right center field, so he's got a base hit.
Craig Graybeck steps in. He got a base hit his first time up, takes a slider outside. So Craig, in his last 6 at-bats, has 6 hits. Now hitting at .279. Sachs, good speed.
I think of Graybeck, the last subject we're talking about. He's one of the guys that I doubt has any fear at the plate. I mean, Nolan Ryan drilled him that one year, and the next at bat, he is just diving out over the plate. I mean, absolutely incredible.
Pitch inside, and the count 2-0. So Sachs, 14 stolen bases in 20 attempts. 2-0 the count to Graybeck with 2 out. Grip it and rip it. Fastball to the shortstop, over to Reed, and that'll do it. Nothing across. There was a hit. 1 left after 3. 4-zip Sox. That's a story here in the 4th inning as the Sox have beat up on the Rocket Roger Clemens, which is something you don't expect, but they have done it. Wilson Alvarez into his 4th inning of work has given up no runs on no hits. He walked 2 back in the 2nd inning. The only 2 Boston base runners. So for the Red Sox, it'll be Boggs, Brunansky, and Clark. I wasn't watching in between innings there. Did Coble say anything to Alvarez, Wimpy?
I wasn't watching either. I don't think so.
But I mean, as I said earlier, that's a tough spot to put the umpires in. Pitch gets away from him, all of a sudden he goes out there, talks to him. Anyway, Boggs bounced out to Graybeck his first trip. That was a breaking ball, in case anybody's sitting out there wondering if that was a...
Yeah, that's... I'm sure there was a few. It looks weird looking at Wade Boggs without a mustache, doesn't it?
Yeah. Fastball off the plate and the count 2-0. I guess Wade, one of the more superstitious players in the history of this game. He'll do anything to get out of this slump that he's been in. How superstitious were you?
Not very. You know, just wore the same wristbands whenever I was getting a few hits. Same underwear.
3-0. There's a strike. Oh, that was real nice. Especially if you're going about a 15-game hitting streak.
No, I would get it washed.
Yeah, that's foul back. Those things get a little ripe, don't they, after about 15-game hitting streak?
No, I was really big into like wristbands and stuff like that. T-shirts, lucky T-shirts. You know, just trying to look cool in my uniform was pretty much my whole basis for playing this game.
Just try to style
What about
a little
you?
bit, huh? I was pretty superstitious. I think most players are. Payoff pitch.
Oh, boy.
Just off the corner. So the leadoff walk to Boggs, and it'll bring up Brunansky. Bounced out to Graybeck his first trip.
Well, you know, Boggs does that little secret dance that he does with you know, before he gets into the batter's box. Has to do the same thing every time. Eats chicken before every game, I guess. Those are superstitions.
Well, for a lot of guys, it's like a routine in golf. A lot of good golfers that they have a routine that they go through, which takes them past that little fear factor because they develop that routine, and then when the heat gets on, it takes them through the swing and the shot. A lot of guys in baseball do the same thing. As this could be Saxey, crack him up. 57th double play turn by the Sox.
And I'll tell you what, the Boston Red Sox are having a real tough time putting the barrel of the bat on anything that Wilson Alvarez throws up there. He has broken a few bats, gotten ground ball outs. Actually, Zupsik was the only one that hit the ball hard, a line drive to center. There's a good fastball down and away, and Brunansky tries to pull it. He does. Graybeck to Sachs to Big Frank. No problem.
Jack Clark, he walked his first trip as that wind really kicking up around home plate. And a reminder, you can enter the True Value All-Time White Sox Team Sweepstakes and win an all-expenses-paid trip for two to the Sox Spring Training Camp next season. Entry forms are available at participating True Value hardware stores. No purchase necessary, and you must be 18 years old or older to enter. Boggs come up a little bit lame maybe on that slide as he's grimacing over there in the dugout. 1-0 pitch to Clark. Take another look at it.
Ooh.
Saxey
landed on that right hip. A la Mike Heath.
Well, it may have caught him in an awkward position there as he landed on it. Or it may be a strawberry.
Well, he's moving around. Well, Wade Boggs has had back problems, so hopefully he'll be able to continue.
That pitch low, the count 3-1. Four 7-0 for the Sox. No runs, no hits for Boston. There's a strike, and the count goes full. Wind definitely is howling. Well, if it's like this tomorrow, those guys out there shoot smooth 80 in a hurry.
Yeah.
Hit in the left field. Tim Raines rocks there and makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. Nothing across after 3.5. Wilson Alvarez leads it 4-0. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Chicago White Sox and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the expressed written consent of the Chicago White Sox. Ron Karkovice will lead off the Sox fourth. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the White Sox. No runs, no hits, and no errors for the Carmines. Kark hit into a fielder's choice his first trip. As 29-year-old right-hander Roger Clemens pours the fastball over the plate. And the count over 0-1. Outfield around to the right. Slider. And it's 0-2. Sox with 2 in the first, 2 in the second. RBIs by Ventura. Thomas has 2 and Bell has 1. That slider off the plate. That slider low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Clemens has yet to strike out a hitter. Good eye by Kark. So Roger featuring a whole bunch of breaking balls here in the last couple of innings. Not proud of that heater. There it is, hit into center field. Bob Zepsic going back. That ball's hit hard.
Sure was. Like a parachute got under it there towards the end. Ball not really traveling that well because of the tremendous wind swirling around here at Comiskey Park. So there's 1 out, and Tim Raines will hit.
Rock has tripled, walked, and scored. Only walk issued by Clemens, and it crossed home plate. Rock takes a curveball strike. Outfield playing him around to the left. Gap between Bernansky and Zupsik. There's the bunt on the splitter. Clemens is there up with it. Boy, they just do get him.
That's a difficult play for Clemens. He knows with Tim Raines' speed, he's going to have to barehand this ball, not able to use his glove at all, so he's got to be very careful the way he picks this thing up. Watch it. Roger falls a little bit off to the third base side, and as he comes across, he knows he's got to be quick, and bang, bang, right at first base. Raines is nailed.
Here's Robin. Robin 1 for 2. Fastball. He's 2 for 3. A little duck snort out there into left field.
Thank you.
Big turn. He holds it first with a single. You see the flags. And that's really not an indication. It's a little lull in the action, so to speak.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's just swirling around this ballpark, affecting anything that's hit in the air.
So here's Frank Thomas. Big Hurt is 2 for 2, a double, an RBI, a run scored, a single, and an RBI. First of this 4-game set with the Carmines over the July 4th holiday. Tomorrow night it'll be Charlie Huff, the knuckleballer, against Frank Viola. Good pitching matchup. Good hack by Hurt, and the count 1-1. On Saturday, it'll be Black Jack. Jack McDowell against Joe Hesketh. And in the finale on Sunday, it'll be Greg Hibbert against Mike Gardner. A ball, a strike. 2 out. Fastball. 2-1 to count. Oh, hurt. Turn him around. Fastball over the outer half. So the count evens at 2. Frank with that double and single, hitting .304 as he stands in. Crossfire with the fastball, and the count goes full. What's new?
Nah. And that's no fun when you see Roger Clemens dropping down.
That's when you get the old jelly leg and that fanny goes south.
And I'm not going to stick around to see if that's going to be over the plate either.
Payoff pitch. That's low, ball 4. So the second walk issued by Clemens. That moves Ventura into second. And with 2 down, here's George Bell. George, a big hit in the first inning. That knocked in Thomas from second.
I can hear a politicking bid right here.
A little bit of lobbying going on, yeah.
I got to say that you're running a very strong second in the picks to click tonight. And I am in my usual third spot.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Butch Hobson.
My Butch, he was a fine offensive player at third base. And he was with the Red Sox. But he hit 9th and drove in 100 runs. Yeah.
He was a good grip hitter. 2-0-3-1. Good with men on base.
Great competitor, yeah.
Oh, he played hard. Played hard. George gets jammed, looped out into center field. Zupsik. He's there, makes the catch, and it'll retire the side. Nothing across. There was a hit, no errors. 2 left. After 4, Sox on top, 4-0.
We are back at Comiskey Park. After 4, the Sox lead the Boston Red Sox 4-0. There you see it, 8 hits for the good guys. Wilson Alvarez has shut down the Boston attack so far in this ball game. And for all you Red Sox buff, which Red Sox player led the American League with 109 RBIs in 1968? Could it have been the Yazoo? But no. The Hawkster.
Whoa. A lot of hanging curveballs at you.
Oh, yeah, right. How many homers? Check your sleeve now.
35.
35. Good year.
Good lineup to hit in.
Oh, that's not a bad lineup, yeah. Yep. And this lineup with Boston this year really scuffling. Right at the bottom, 246 team batting average. Mo Vaughn's going to lead things off here in the 5th inning. Fastball misses down low. So Vaughn ahead in the count 2-0. Wilson Alvarez got to get ahead of the hitters. Use the fastball to get ahead, set him up for that good changeup. Struck out Jody Reed, a very tough guy to strike out with a good changeup. Fastball on the outside corner, 2-1. Fastball, 3-1.
I see that you have taught Tommy and Andy well.
They can eat, can't they?
You taught them how to breathe through their ears while they eat.
They're not going to do a whole lot of talking.
I tell you, they got in the Bertucci boys ribs and chicken, and they didn't come up till they were gone.
Proof positive that the Bertucci boys are clearly the best. There's a drive in the left center field. Lance Johnson and his horse. He got it. Oh, what a great play by Lance. Going hard to his right, fighting the wind, and that bullet shot off the bat of Mo Vaughn.
As we talked about in the dugout show, here has been the one constant all year, last year and the year before. Defensively for the Sox, Lance Johnson, what a job. There is not a better defensive center fielder in the American League. Now, you got some guys that can throw better, but as far as catching the baseball, not.
No. Lance Johnson has improved so much from the time he first put on a White Sox uniform. Incredible. He continues to do it. Oh, there's jam sandwich. Oh, boy. And Tim Naring. Tell you what, he has gotten in a lot of kitchens this evening. Here's a reminder, you can suit up with former White Sox great at the 1993 Chicago White Sox Adult Fantasy Baseball Camp. February 7th through the 14th in Sarasota, Florida. For more information, call 1-800-766-4004. And that is a ball. Randy Hundley and company, they put on a great show there. I've been there for the last umpteen years. I don't even think it's 3 or 4 years. And it is really a lot of fun. You'll enjoy it. Here's Mr. Funky Stance, Phil Plantier. He fakes the bunt, takes strike one. Boy, Phil Plantier was great last year for Boston. When he was called up, well, he supplied that home run punch that they were definitely lacking, but he has got caught up in this team slump of 1992.
And that is a good way to put it, too, Wimpy. That can happen.
There's a check swing. Steve Sachs got him. Wilson Alvarez works a 1-2-3-5. Halfway through this ball game, it's 4-0 Sox. There's the good news. The White Sox, 4 runs, 8 hits, no errors. The Carmines from Boston, no runs. They have yet to get a hit off Wilson Alvarez. And there's a look at the Rocket, Roger Clemens. He has thrown 77 pitches through 4 innings. 34 balls, 23 strikes. 20 of them have been put into play, so you can add that to the strike total. And there you see it. He's walked 2, striking out none. You don't see that very often. Matter of fact, you never see that.
First time I've ever seen it.
Yeah. Well, the White Sox, he's 10-6 against the White Sox, but that great 2.33 earned run average in his career.
Have you ever seen that before?
No. There's a jam shot first base. Mo Vaughn will play it. Take it himself, and there's 1 pitch, 1 out in the 5th. And for all you baseball nuts, baseball card nuts, I'll be at the Dreams and Memories Card Shop in Crestwood this Saturday, the 4th of July, about 11 o'clock or so, with my good buddy Skip Pitlock, and having some fun on the 4th. So if you're in the area, please drop by. That's the Dreams and Memories Card Shop in Crestwood.
What's your card going for now, Wimpy?
Oh, there's a pop-up to left. One other pitch. Plantier there, and he makes the catch. I'll tell you what, Hawk, my card is not worth a whole lot now, but hold on to it, because 5 years from now it's going to be worth a lot less. A lot less. Yeah. I know my guys have got plenty of those Roger Clemens cards that they're locked up someplace. I'll tell you what, the biggest card is Frank Thomas.
Big Frank, yeah.
He is the most sought-after autograph, I think, in baseball today. It's amazing. Here's Saxey, 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the 5th. Fastball right down Broadway.
Like the veteran he is, he takes one for the club.
Right. Well, you got to make him work a little bit in this inning. Give Wilson Alvarez a break. Wilson has gone 5 very strong innings so far in this ball game. Boy, has he jammed some Red Sox hitters already. Curveball misses down and away. Saxey 1 for 2, had a single his last time up. There's a slider, misses. So it's 2-1 now to Steve Sachs. Red Sox, they don't move a whole lot in the outfield, but they are playing Sachs around the right field. Big gap in left center between Zubcic and Plantier. Misses again. 3-1.
Saxey's taking those pitches pretty well.
Yeah. Well, he had 4 terrific at-bats against Clemens at Fenway Park. Well, he had bullets all over the place. He got 2 hits. Could have easily had 4. Ooh, he got jammed with a fastball. Clemens trying to run that ball in on right-handers some tonight. So the count full to Steve Sachs. 2 out, bottom of the 5th inning. Sox lead 4-0. You see Durwood Merrill, and you're just behind Roger, the umpire at first. Uh-oh.
Look at Saxey.
I think his helmet came up, hit the ground, and came up and hit him on the side of the head. That's what happened. I mean, certainly the ball was nowhere. Third walk issued by Clemens. Saxey thinking, no way he's coming up and in with this pitch.
Dukoval once again saying something to Clemens.
Oh, that was no reason for that. That one really did get away from him, dropping down. Now see that? See his helmet come up and get him in the side of the head.
I saw it.
You see it? Watch it again. Bonk. Now, Steve Sachs is one of the few guys that will happen to with great regularity. Mike Heath is another one.
Mike, I was getting ready to say Mike and Saxey. Pitch out, nothing on.
Yeah. So Saxey always a threat to steal. That pitch out. 1-0 pitch coming up to Graybeck, and Sachs is off to the races. He fouls this one back. And Greg Graybeck had 6 consecutive hits. Do you know who had the most?
No.
Do you know how many there were?
No.
12.
Oh, Walter Gropo.
Yeah. Oh, he's from the Boston area, isn't he? Mike Higgins, 1938. He hit just in front of you, didn't he, that year?
Behind me.
Yeah. Oh, he's behind you. He protected you. And look at Woodrow Williams. He was president, too, wasn't he? He had 10 in the National League, 8 players. But the American League once again dominates the National.
Look at this.
There's a shot into right field. That could be extra bases. Sachs is going to be waved home. Here's Graybeck. Rounding second. He's going to third. Sachs will score. The Sox lead it 5-zip. Yes.
Wimpy's picked a click.
Oh, is it getting tight in the PTC?
Watch Graybeck go with a slider. Clemens got in on him with a fastball first pitch. Comes back with a slider. Gets it up a little bit. And watch Graybeck. Just go right with it. His second triple of the season.
And Graybeck now with 24 runs batted in. Sox lead at 5-0. They have 9 hits off the Rocket tonight. Oh, Graybeck. Yes. Fastball misses down. You know what? I think you're in third place now. Off to a great start, but fading.
Well, you know that old saying, them dogs that blank fast, don't blank long.
Carco got jammed a bit to left field. Plantier there puts it away, and that'll do it for the White Sox, but they come up with one more big run on just one hit, an RBI triple by Graybeck. They lead it 5-0.
That's the story. Top of the 6th inning, 5-0 Sox with the 9 hits. Wilson Alvarez has walked 3. Really, the only tough play thus far was off the bat of Mo Vaughn leading off the 5th. Hit a rocket into left center field. Ball tailing away from Lance Johnson. He got a great jump and caught up to it as you look at Sean Abner into right field in place of Dan Pasqua. So the Sox in the outfield now with Raines in left, Johnson in center, Abner in right. Around the horn, Thomas at first, Sox at second, Graybeck the shortstop, Ventura third, and a battery of Karkovice and Wilson Alvarez. For the Carmines, it'll be Pena, then the top of the order, Jody Reed and Bob Zupsik. Tony 0 for 1, bounced out to Ventura his first trip. Good fastball, and the count 0-1. Breaking ball.
Ooh,
and a count 0-2. And some activity down in the Boston pen. Southpaw Tom Bolton. Fastball. Souvenir right side. Bottom of the 5th inning at Royal Stadium. Kansas City leading the Brew Crew 5-1. Bottom of the 8th at Three Rivers. Cincinnati 2, Pittsburgh 1. Game just getting underway. Montreal at San Diego. Game just getting underway. St. Louis at San Francisco. And later on, the Phillies take on Lasorda's Dodgers in L.A. High off the plate, and the count 1-2. And there was a trade today. Dodgers and the Phillies. Dodgers sent outfielder Stan Javier to the Phillies for a left-handed pitcher Steve Searcy and a player to be named later. That's off the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Pena.
That the Steve Searcy that was with the Tigers?
Yeah.
Left-hander, yeah.
Outfield around to the right. Bit of a gap between Lance and Raines. Pretty good hack right there by Pena. Had a heater from Alvarez.
Does that trade strike you a bit funny? Because the Dodgers have got decent pitching and absolutely no offense. So they trade an offensive player, an outfielder, and get another pitcher. You're saying vice versa with the Phillies. I mean, they're pitching weak and have a good offense. So they're getting another guy to, I don't know, obviously sit on the bench there.
Another foul ball by the veteran receiver. Well, there might be a little more to it. Usually there is.
So we don't know the rest of the story.
No. As our guy, Paul Harvey would say. Oh, is he great?
The greatest.
He is. He's the greatest.
I could listen to that guy
Me
forever.
too. That's the way
Just tell a story, any story.
That's it. When I'm driving, I just can't wait for him to come on.
Oh, boy. You hate it when he's done.
Now, Hawk and Wilson having a little trouble getting locked up. He wants to change off the end of the bat. Good pitch by Wilson. Can of corn for Raines.
On Thursday, July 16th, the Sox begin a 4-game series with the Brewers. First 20,000 fans on Thursday will receive baseball cards courtesy of Kodak. Game time 7:05. For tickets, call Ticketmaster at 312-831-1-SOX.
There are the outs, the putouts by the Red Sox. Graybeck has 5. So here's the leadoff hitter, Jody Reed. 0 for 2. That's a good fastball strike. That fastball up high, and the count evens at 1. 5-9-0 for the Sox. No runs, no hits, no errors for Boston. Pittsburgh did not score in the bottom of the 8th inning. Reds hitting in the top of the 9th. Leading 2-1. A little low, 2-1. And I want to send out a big White Sox hello to Robert Fraley down in Orlando. Robert, an attorney, represents Payne Stewart on the tour. Also Big Frank Thomas from the Sox. You know, we talk so often about some of these guys, attorneys and agents. Some of them are bad. Robert Fraley, one of the better ones in that business.
Got a good guy, too, Payne Stewart.
Oh, he's got a lot of good guys. He does a good job.
Frank? Whew.
There's been a lot of players that have lost a lot of money with those guys.
Oh, man.
That's into left field. Raines, he's there. And there's 2 gone. That's one thing the athlete has to be so careful about today because, you know, there have been, as we mentioned, a lot of athletes. Jabbar, Ron Guidry, some of the California Angels out there had a couple of guys. I mean, those guys took the money and went south.
Yes. Some Dodger players, yeah.
Yes. You've got to make sure you get a good one. And that Fraley is one of the best, if not the best. Here's Zubcic. He's 0 for 2. Twice he's gone out to Lance Johnson.
Well, Zubcic looks like he's going to get a chance to play every day now with Greenwell on the disabled list.
That ball hit hard at Lance. Goes back, but not to worry. 1, 2, 3 for Wilson. He has a no-hitter through 5 1/2, leading it 5-0.
Back at Comiskey Park, and there you see it. 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors for the Sox. Nothing. Goose eggs across the board for the Red Sox. And Roger Clemens is through for the evening. He gives up those 5 runs on the 9 hits. He walked 3, didn't strike out anyone. So he gives way to left-hander Tom Bolton here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bolton 1 and 2 with a .386 earned run average in 18 appearances. No saves to his credit, giving up 27 hits in 23 1/3 innings. 12 walks and 20 strikeouts for the left-hander. American League is batting .281 in his last appearance. That was the 26th against the Brew Crew. Gave up 3 runs in an inning and a third. And Tim Raines is going to start things off. He swings at the first pitch, pops it up right side. Jody Reed is there, backs up a couple steps. Ooh, the wind brings it more towards center, but he makes the catch. So there's 1 out in the 6th. Raines now 1 for 3 on the evening. And that'll bring up Robin Ventura. Skip Ellison and the Crews picked a click tonight is 2 for 3 with a run batted in. And he has scored a run. So another good night for Robin. His batting average .314 as he stands in there. That's good. Curveball by the left-hander, misses down low. What do we do? Whoop, after this pitch, fastball way inside. Didn't we pick, I took Robin to win the batting title. You took Frank. Didn't we do that like in April?
No, you took Frank.
I took Frank?
I took Robin.
Oh, okay. Pops it up left side. Wade Boggs by the camera well makes the catch.
I'll tell you, Wimpy, you got to wonder if anything was wrong with Roger Clemens tonight. I've never seen him throw that many breaking pitches before.
Yeah. Well, you know, in his last outing, it wasn't overwhelming with his stats either. I think he struck out 4 in 8 innings of work.
Well, that's the one thing about Clemens. He'll go out there and pitch even when he's hurting.
Yeah.
But I've never seen Roger throw that many breaking pitches. Oh, he was, for the most part, a breaking ball pitcher out there tonight.
Yeah.
Of course, Roger Clemens, as we talk about, one of the best to ever play this game.
There's Big Frank, first ball swinging. That'll be a base hit off the glove of Tim Naring at shortstop. So Big Frank is perfect on the night. Okay, I got Frank. 304 coming in, so he's about 3.7 right now. That's good. Pull that ball, Francis. I like it. Head of the bat out. Frank starts getting some altitude on those balls that he's pulling left side, and watch out. You'll see some dramatic home run production. Here's George Bell with 2 out, runner at first base. George is 1 for 3 on the night. He singled in a run in the first. Curveball misses down and in. So George, that batting average creeping up. He's at .260 right now. And he has 10 homers. 51 runs batted in. So there's a good chance. There's 3 guys with a chance to drive in 100 this year in White Sox uniform. Breaking balls. A fastball, that is, on the outside corner. 32,448 braved the weather and all the conditions around Chicago to attend this ball game. Good crowd. I'm sure they sold a lot more than that. Fastball. Ooh, Bolton wonders where it was. 2-1. The White Sox early on connected off Roger Clemens, basically his fastball. He ropes this one.
Yes.
Yes. Into the corner. Here comes Big Frank. He's churning. He's coming. He could go all the way. Yes, he's in there.
All right.
That's a long run for the big guy. He made it. Boy, you gave it. You called it, Hawk. You wanted it. 2-1 fastball. He nailed it into that corner.
Picking up his 52nd RBI of the season. Not a whole bunch to it, just a bullet. Humpback line drive out there, and the big man can move. He is sneaky quick.
Yeah, because they didn't botch that relay in any way. You know, scoring from first base is not that easy, especially on a double in the corner. I mean, a perfect relay right there by Boston. And that'll bring up Mickey, and they're going to walk him. Look at the respect for Sean Abner. Sean came in for defense a couple of innings ago. Danny Pasqua was just reactivated for this ball game, has been on the DL with a hamstring problem. So Danny's well. Pasqua was 0 for 3. Had some good swings, though. I could just see Mickey in the clubhouse after the game.
Oh, is he going to get on those guys about this? What's he going to say to
I
him?
only wish I had a tape recorder. He's going to say something. They're afraid of me.
My arch enemy just walked into the booth.
He's the guy that's got all your money, huh?
He's got all my money. I got to come work in the summer to get pumped up to go back down there and give it to him in the winter.
You got all your money tied up in cash.
Payne Stewart. We'll get Payne here on Mike in just a second. Lance Johnson takes the breaking ball outside.
1-0 to Lance. Lance is 0 for 3 on the night. Sox now with 11 hits off Boston pitching. Good curveball, 1-1. What'd Payne have today? Did he finish?
75.
You went out when it was windy, though, right?
You played about 435, huh?
There's a one-hopper right back to Bolton. We'll talk with Payne Stewart right after we come back. Sox pick up 1. It's 6-zip.
Well, joining us in the booth right now, one of the great players in the world of golf, and one of the nice guys as well, Payne Stewart. Had a rough day out there at Cog, huh?
It wasn't. I hit the ball pretty good today, Hawk, but I needed you putting for me because it was pretty hopeless on the greens today.
That weather came up in early. What time did you go off?
I played this morning, and you could see it. I was out on the putting green, and you could just see it rolling in, and it got there about 2:30, and they suspended play, and they're going back out in the morning at 7:30 to complete the first round, and then they'll just continue playing, and I'll probably tee off about 4 tomorrow.
Oh, that's good. Right here, it's the top of the 7th inning. 6-0 Sox. Wilson Alvarez with a no-hitter going as Wade Boggs takes the fastball inside. Well, Payne, you're over all your troubles. You had some neck problems there. In fact, you did that today playing with a shootout. Remember when you had to walk off the golf course? Is that all fixed now?
Well, hopefully, Hawk, that's behind me. Oh,
there's
that's
a shot.
Shame to see, isn't it?
Well, that guy's done that a few times. So
He's a
nice
jinx.
round of applause.
Yeah, you better get me out of the booth.
Nice round of applause from the 32,448 in attendance on Wilson Alvarez. Goes through 6 with a no-hitter. But that'll bring up Tom Brunansky. But you do have these things behind you?
Yeah, I haven't had any reoccurrence with my neck problem at all, and I don't have any excuses for the bad play. It's just, you know how golf is. One day it's good, one day it's bad.
Tom Brunansky takes the breaking ball low and inside. That's a pretty tough golf course. Wimpy and I go out there to COG and play quite a bit. We tee it up on, we go from the tip, so you guys play from the ladies' tee.
Yeah, they got us way up there. It'd be interesting from the tips now. It'd really be interesting.
1-0 the count to Brunansky. There's a good fastball strike.
Tell you what, it's a great public golf course.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Unbelievable what a nice golf course that is. The people in Chicago would be very proud of that because they've got a place that everybody can go play.
Well, you know yourself, in Chicago, we're so far. Uh-oh. That's high and deep in the left field. Raines goes back, looks up. You can put it on the board. 2-run homer for Brunansky, and it's a 6-2 ball game. Was that a changeup, Wimpy?
I don't know. I don't know how he held that one, but Brunansky sure deposited. The ball didn't have any movement. It may have been just a fastball right there. Bruno very strong, but he's been in a slump from a power standpoint. That's only his 3rd homer. 24 runs batted in. He's getting a lot of playing time right now because of everybody else faltering.
Well, you know, the thing we got to look at right here with Wilson Alvarez, in his first start at Yankee Stadium, he went to 3 innings, got in trouble in the 4th after that long sit in the dugout. And you just can't expect him to go out there in his 2nd start and go ahead and go 7, 8, or 9 innings. So they have activity now in the Sox pen as Jack Clark steps in. Gas. He wasn't tired on that one.
No.
But, you know, Payne getting back to Cog Hill as Roberto Hernandez loosening up. In the Chicago area, as you know, we're so lucky. We've probably got the finest golf courses in a 50-mile radius here of any place in the world. And we've got, you know, Cog Hill, you got Seven Bridges, you got Kemper, where you have had some success.
Yeah, that I like that. That Kemper Lakes treated me very nicely in '89.
You know, I was telling Wimpy last year when you won the U.S. Open, I had the monitor set up here, and you had to make a 6-footer in the playoff, and Fisk was hitting. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Clark. His gas blows him away. He'll grab some bench. Change right here for the Sox defensively. Esteban Beltry moves in at shortstop. Graybeck moves over to 3rd, and moving in at 1st is Robin Ventura. But I was telling Wimpy, just you made a 6-footer. Carlton had a 2-strike count on him, and somebody threw him a fastball. You made the putt, and I went yes, and he struck out.
Thought you had a premonition.
Yeah, right. Move on. Takes it outside.
Well, I can't get over how nice this Kaminsky Park is. This is a beautiful place to watch ball game.
Well, if you, after the game, is that's beat right side, Ventura. Underneath over to Wilson, and it's out number 2. I know you and Viola are good friends, and if you go downstairs and go into the clubhouses after the game, you'll see state of the art. I mean, especially the White Sox is just unbelievable. You should see the training facility they have in there. It's second to none.
I guess you work out in there on a regular basis.
Oh, yeah. I go down there and body build with a Wimperoo. And
Wrong. He doesn't know what that room looks like.
Much less how the equipment works.
Yeah, much less the equipment.
Hey, Herm, what's that? Here's Tim Nehring. Nehring over 2. He's bounced to short, and he's bounced to 2nd. Takes the ball. But we are so proud. The ballpark here and the one in Baltimore, the new one there, Camden Yards, are just spectacular. Of course, go along with Sky Dome at Toronto. He did not go into count 2-0. You ought to see my partner hit it.
Can he go?
Oh, yeah. He can hit it.
I'll swing hard.
You have to bring him down the hill and
he's going to play with me down there this winter. 2-0 pitch. Payne, we were just talking earlier, is that pitch up high 3-0 about representatives of athletes today, and talking about Robert Fraley, yours. He's one of the better ones.
He's one of the more honest ones that I've ever been around. There's and
he's a lawyer?
Well, I'd consider him a friend before a manager or a lawyer, but he represents the first baseman here on the Sox.
Yeah, Big Frank. 3-1 pitch. Pops this one up. That's a can of corn for Lance. Well, Payne, it's good to see you. Continue success.
Hawk, thanks for having me in the booth. Wimp, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.
All right, that'll do it. Red Sox pick up 2, and after 6.5, Sox lead it 6-2.
Sox clinging to that 6-2 lead. Wilson Alvarez lost his no-hitter in the top of the 7th inning, and then he lost his shutout, the 2-run homer by Tom Brunansky. Wade Boggs got the single, but the Sox still with a 4-run lead. Tom Bolton on a relief of Roger Clemens. Steve Sachs, the first hitter, he takes a fastball up and away. Roger worked 5 innings, gave up 9 hits, 5 earned runs. Bolton came on in the 6th inning and gave up a run. So the Red Sox, leading the American League in earned run average, that will suffer a little bit tonight. Fastball down low. Red Sox coming in with a 3.32 earned run average. Best in the American League. Saxey to right field. Line drive. Here comes Brunansky. Oh, the ball got caught in the lights, but he just got his glove up in a nick of time. So Sachs is gone, and that'll bring up Graybeck. Here's Wilson Alvarez. They are still loosening in the Sox bullpen. I wouldn't be surprised if he were not finished for the night, Hawk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. He's throwing a lot of pitches out there, Wimpy, and there he's going. He's going up into the clubhouse. What a fine effort. As we say, in his second start, you just can't expect him to go out there and go much more than he did.
No, that's great. Great. You beat Roger. Well, he's got a chance to beat Roger Clemens, too, and how many guys can put that feather in their cap? There's Craig, 2 for 3, a single, triple, and an RBI.
Hitting .281 as he stands in.
Thank you. Boy, when we went on that last road trip, 6-game trip, on Friday night, Craig Graybeck was hitting .233. 7 games later, .281. He is scalding the ball. Right back up the middle. Slows it down. Bolton to Jody Reed, and he throws him out. That took a base hit away from him right there. So Graybeck goes 2 for 4 on the night. I tell you, you may have catapulted back into the lead. George Bell with that RBI double in the 6th inning. He now has 2 runs batted in on the night.
But you got to take into consideration these picks to click when they get them. My man, big hit.
Right. And there's a fastball down low to Karkovice. 2-0 now. Well, Skip and the crew have Ventura. He's 2 for 4 with an RBI, and Graybeck 2 for 4, likewise with a run batted in. I think you got us. I hate to say that, too.
I know you.
Breaking ball, 3-0. Is Lou a happy camper?
Yes.
You betcha. 2-1, Rijos. Blame it on Rijos.
They beat the good clubs and have trouble with the lesser clubs.
Yeah, they can get up for those games. They got an excellent ball club. Fastball misses away. Bolton walks Karkovice with 2 down here in the 7th inning. Second walk issued by Tom Bolton. He's in his 2nd inning of relief. So with 2 down, Tim Raines the hitter. Timmy started this whole thing off with that line shot triple in the right field corner against Roger Clemens to lead this thing off. 1 for 3, scored a run. Has a walk to his credit as well. He's a .250 hitter as he stands in. Kark has a stolen base to his credit tonight. He can run. Hammered into left field. Base hit for Raines. That's Timmy's 2nd of the evening. So with 2 down, the Sox have something going here in the 7th inning. A walk to Karkovice, a single to Raines, and that'll bring up Robin Ventura with a chance to take over.
Yes. And a reminder that immediately following our ball game tonight, It'll be the 9 o'clock news coming your way. And be sure and stay with them, as they will have all the reports on the damage by the storm and further developments on the 9 o'clock news right after the ball game.
Robin 2 for 4. Has scored a run, driven in one. Hitting at .313 as he stands in. Curveball misses away. Boston's outfield playing Robin to hit the other way. There's a gap, big gap in right center between Zubcic and Brunansky. We can call this the UN outfield, couldn't we? Plantier, Zubcic, Brunansky. Whoa. So Robin in charge now with a 2-0 count. And Rich Gale, 6'7" pitching coach. He's a big one, coming out to talk with Bolton. Gale was a good pitcher for the Kansas City Royals a few years ago. That was back in the late 70s, early 80s. Big right-hander.
Had a good fastball, good slider. Hurt his, I believe it was his shoulder. But now with that Cincinnati 2-1 victory over the Pirates, that snapped a 6-game road losing streak for the Reds.
Well, and the Reds now with a 45-31 record in the Western Division. There's Danny Darwin, right-hander, warming up. 3 teams own the best record in baseball coming into tonight's action, and they are all in the American League. Minnesota, Oakland, and Toronto. They're all off tonight. 46-31, .597 winning percentage. Here's Robin, 2-0 pitch. Ooh, had a good swing at a fastball.
Yes, he did. He was right there.
He wants to win this for the Skipperoo. He said earlier, the Sox now with Ventura at 41 runs batted in. Big Frank and Jorge over 50 now, have 3 guys with chances to drive in 100. Ooh, curveball. He hung it. Robin missed it. 2-2. Robin is playing first base. Big Frank getting the rest of the evening off. So Esteban Beltre hitting in Frank's spot. He is in at shortstop. He's the on-deck hitter. Got him on a high heater. So Robin strikes out to end the inning. Sox come up empty in the 7th. It's still 6-2. Good guys.
Some of the pretty spectators here at Comiskey Park tonight. The one on the right, Jenny Gallus, daughter of Rob, who is the marketing director and does such a terrific job for the Sox. There's the story. Sox lead at 6-2. 6-12-0 for the Sox. 2-2-0 for the Carmine.
And a new pitcher, Wilson Alvarez, is done for the evening. A great job. 2 runs on 2 hits allowed in 7 innings of work. And Brian Draymond will get a chance to pitch here. He worked an inning at Cleveland the other night and did a good job. Set him down scoreless. So Brian out there for the 2nd time. No record, no earned run average. 2nd appearance. He has worked that inning. And they got nothing off of him.
1, 2, 3. So here we go. Top of the 8th inning. It'll be Plantier, Pena, and then the top of the order, Jody Reed. Plantier takes the strike. Sox with 2 in the 1st. 2 in the 2nd, 1 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. Drew Coble. Tony Pena, they have sent up a pinch hitter, barking out at home plate umpire. Jam job. Ventura knocks it down. Draymond over there. The throw. Yes. Good play by Robin and Draymond.
Now, Robin had a ball hit hard at him right here. He hasn't had a whole lot of action at first base. He knocks it down. He has to go a long way to get it. Fastball right there. Plantier turns on it. Watch it. Well, that's a tough bounce right there in between. Robin picks it up, fires, and they get Plantier by plenty.
It'll be Herm Winningham to hit for Pena. Tony was 0 for 2 tonight. And make no mistake about it, when you play all the time on the left side of an infield, all of a sudden you get on the right side. That spin of that ball is different, especially on pop-ups. Winningham takes the ball outside. There you see 3 for 16 in that pinch hitting role. Palm ball misses in the count 2-0. Can't get it in the count 2-1. We'll take another look at the play by Ventura, who, as we mentioned, gets a different look at the spin. There he just knocks it down, and very quick as he is. He can't run that fast, but he is quick. Two-one delivery off the plate. 3-1. Make him swing the bat, Brian. Outfield straight up. There's a strike. And our best goes out to Rex Barney, Oriole PA announcer, who's recuperating from a bout. Diabetes. That ball hit right to Esteban Beltre. Rex, we understand, in the hospital. Good man. One of the hardest throwers in the history of baseball.
Well, that's what a lot of people tell me, and just a prince of a guy, too.
Oh,
And every time we go to Baltimore, I always make sure you talk with Rex Barney every day.
So 2 out, and here's the leadoff hitter, Jody Reed. You ask some of those guys that faced him. Alvin Dark told me that he never, ever saw anybody throw the ball harder than Rex Barney.
Wow.
Jody 0 for 3 tonight. Takes a strike. Hard hit, base hit. Well, he just turned on that one. So 2-out single by Reed.
You got a fastball. Jody Reed's a good fastball hitter, particularly up. Talk about Brian Draymond. He's got to get good movement, maximum movement on his sinker. Naturally, he's got to be down. That was about belt high. That's a little bit too high. And he drills it. Get the head of the bat out, and that's a solid single for Jody Reed.
Here's Bob Zepsic. He's 0 for 3, but he is swinging the bat well. Takes the breaking ball strike. Last 2 times up, he is lined hard to Lance Johnson in center field. There's a base hit into left. Breaking pitch. So 2 2-out singles. And that'll bring up Wade Boggs. Bob 6 homers. Boggs 6 homers, 24 RBIs. Boggs has bounced to short, walked, and singled. Last inning, of course, leading off, he broke up the no-hitter by Wilson Alvarez. Outfield well around to the left. Takes a fastball strike. Foul ball off the plate, so the count evens at 1. First of a big 4-game set with the Red Sox. As we mentioned, pitching matchups tomorrow night. It'll be the knuckleballing right-hander Charlie Huff against the southpaw Frank Viola and his changeup. There's a strike. Good one in the count 1-2.
There's that palm ball that Brian developed last year. It was a good pitch for him. Got a lot of outs with it. You can use it with either right or left-handed hitters. Get them out of that front foot.
Sinker just misses, and the count evens at 2. And here comes Jackie Brown out of that dugout. But the pitching matchups on Saturday, it'll be Blackjack McDowell for the Sox against Joe Hesketh for Boston. And in the finale on Sunday, Greg Hibbard against Mike Gardner. There's Blackjack starting to get his game face on already.
Yep. Of course, Jack didn't have his real good stuff, and we talked about him kind of almost backing into his last victory, but that was victory number 50 in his career. And heck, you got to win one like that once in a while, because I don't remember him ever getting one like that.
That's the first Slurpee we've seen him get in a Sox uniform.
Yep. He's like that company. He earns it.
So Draymond ready with a 2-2 pitch. Chops it right side. Ventura underneath to Draymond. Tags the bag. And he said he missed it. Oh, Lordy.
Wow. Take a look. Good changeup right here. There was the palm ball down and away. Boggs way out in front. And it looks like a pretty routine 3-1 put out. Durwood said he missed it.
Oh, man.
And what that does is sends the tying run to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 out here in the 8th inning.
Yeah, well, that's a tough call right there. So a pitching change as Draymond will depart. Roberto Hernandez will come on. We'll be back to give you his numbers right after this. Mercy. Look at that play. Brian lost track of the outs. That may have been what caused him to miss a bag, if in fact he did. He was concerned about the runner on second base. Now watch him how he reacts right here.
Yeah, he certainly had the reaction of, or maybe he knew he missed the bag.
Well, Robbins sitting right there too. Sherwood Merrill on the other side, so certainly a very close play, but it went the way of the Red Sox. And here's Roberto Hernandez, hard-throwing right-hander. Things in jeopardy now with 2 out, bases loaded, tying run at the plate. Bobby making his 11th appearance, 2-0 record, 2.30 ERA. 15 2/3, just 7 hits, 9 walks, and he has rung up 15. So here's Brunansky. Tom 1 for 3, a 2-run homer last inning, as that ball is in the dirt, blocked nicely by Karkovice. Jody Reed at third. Bob Zupsik at second, and Wade Boggs at first. Outfield straight up, spread out. Watch out. He can't stop that one. Wild pitch by Hernandez. Reed scores. And it's a 6-3 ball game.
Well, he missed by a wide margin on those first 2 pitches. Not even close. Look at this fastball. Just looks like he held on to it too long. That was in the left-handed batter's box. And he throws it 90-mile-an-hour plus, so Ron Karkovice couldn't get over there. Oh, boy. So runners at second and third, a 2-0 count on Brunansky. And there are 2 outs. That's the good news.
Six, 12-1 for the Sox. 3-4-0. As there's a fastball strike. And the count 2-1. Little tardy right there. So the count evens at 2 to Tom Brunansky, 31-year-old veteran outfielder. That was just his 3rd homer of the season. Big pitch. Full count. Jack Clark on deck. If you joined us late, Roger Clemens started. Went 5 innings, giving up 5 runs on 9 hits. That ball high into right field. That's a can of corn for Sean Abner. And that'll do it. Red Sox pick up a run on 2 hits. 1 error. 2 men left after 7.5. It's 6-3 White Sox. That's a story here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Sox with a 6-3 lead and a pitching change for the Red Sox. It'll be the veteran right-hander Danny Darwin coming on for the southpaw Tom Bolton.
Bolton worked 2 innings, gave up a run on 3 base hits. He walked 1 while he struck out 1. So Danny Darwin, the veteran right-hander, he's a sidewinder. 4-4 on the season, scuffling with that 5.10 earned run average in 31 games. 53 hits in 47 2/3 innings.
Takes a fastball up high. Sidearm fastball strike. There's Flaherty. He moves in behind the plate. John Flaherty in place of Tony Pena. Little breaking ball. Get in there. Move on going back. He can't get there. Little duck snort as Beltre picks up the hit.
I think Aurelio Rodriguez said it best when he said, "We take that one." Look at that smile. Yeah, those hits are tough to come by, especially if you're in that relief role that Esteban has been in. So he gets himself a knock. The leadoff man on for the White Sox here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and that is 13 base hits for the Sox tonight.
Here's George Bell. He is 2 for 4. RBI single and an RBI double. George now with 52 runs knocked in on the season. George had a big hit in the 1st inning. And if you joined us late,
we know
Roger Clemens, as we mentioned, we'll have to check after the game and see if there's anything wrong with him. Threw an inordinate amount of breaking pitches for him. Ball gets away from Flaherty. Can't find it. Beltre now on his way to 3rd. Now he stops. Big turn.
Heads up base running right there by Beltre. If that ball goes to the screen, he'd have easily gotten into 3rd base.
And a reminder, our upcoming games for you right here over WGN. It'll be Saturday, the next one. Saturday evening, 6 o'clock. Then from Camden Yards in Baltimore on Tuesday and Friday. Or check that, Friday from Boston. And Sunday, July 19th, against the Brew Crew. George fouls that fastball out of play. George stretching out that right knee once again. George hitting .263 as he stands in. To Darwin with the wipes. That's into center field, right at Bob Zubcic. Hit it hard. And there's one gone.
He's swinging it. A reminder that on Sunday, July 19th at 1:35, the Sox wrap up their series with the Brew Crew. First 20,000 fans will receive a squeeze bottle courtesy of Gatorade. For tickets, call Ticketmaster at 312-831-1-SOX.
So one out, and that'll bring up Sean Abner. Mickey was intentionally walked back in the 6th inning. Fastball misses, and the count 1-0. Oh, Mickey knock him in. Good hack at a heater. Boy, he's fun to watch hit.
He's not getting cheated up there. He's just fun to be around. He's great in that clubhouse.
He's got a great sense of humor, doesn't he?
Terrific.
Hopefully just coming into his own. Darwin with a long look at Beltre. Time was called. Another little duck snort. He'll take it.
Well, there's not a whole lot of speed in that outfield for Boston, and they're playing deep. So Zubcic, who I'm sure is not a natural center fielder, not able to get there. Watch the jam sandwich right here. Darwin's got a good fastball, and it moves in on a right-handed hitter. Hits him on the fist, but the 0-1 is in the area. Beltre advances to third, so runners at the corners, one out for Lance Johnson.
Lance has drawn the collar tonight. Fastball misses, and the count 1-0. Steve Sachs on deck. So the outfield well around to the left. Boggs even with the bag and well off the line at third. That ball's trouble. That could be a gapper. It is. Here comes Beltre. Here comes Abner. Lance flying going around second base. He's in there with a triple. Sox lead at 8-3. Yes. One dog.
All right, Lance Johnson, that's his 4th triple. 17 runs batted in now. He gets in the act. Lance had been 0 for 4 up until that point. You know, Zubcic makes a good effort, but Lance just kills this fastball down and in. It looks like the wind brought it back, and Zubcic almost made a terrific play on it. 2 runners score. Abner very alertly scores all the way from first base on some good base running. So Saxey will get a chance to get an RBI with that runner at third. 1 out, and the Sox leading it 8-3.
Saxey 1 for 3 with a walk. Takes a fastball up high. Boston with the infield in. Outfield bunched a bit straight up. I tell you can fly going around those bases too as Abner.
Yes.
Up and in. Two and 0 the count. 8-15-1 for the Sox. 3-4-0 for Boston. That's inside to count 3-0. Turn him loose.
Why not?
That's it. Got the infield in. That's a 6th walk issued by Boston pitching tonight. And that'll bring up Craig Greatbeck. Craig 2 for 4, a triple and an RBI. Got a Clemens slider and ripped it right down into the right field corner. Slider high. Wimpy, you got a chance.
Yes, sir. Exactly what I was thinking.
Can't get the high heater. So the count 1-1. Good speed aboard. Lance at third, Sachs at first. Saxy with those 14 stolen bases. Fastball hit right to the shortstop. And they turn it. But the Sox do some damage, putting 2 more on the board. And after 8, they lead it 8-3.
Dan Quayle. That's it. Here's our scoring summary in the bottom of the 1st inning. Big Frank had a double that scored Robin Ventura. George Bell single scored Frank Thomas. That made it 2-0 White Sox. Bottom of the 2nd, Ventura single scored Ron Karkovice, and then Big Frank did it again. He had a single that scored Timmy Raines. Sox led it 4-0. Bottom of the 5th, Grayback triple scored Sachs 5-zip. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Bell's double scored Thomas. 6-0 White Sox. 7th inning, Brunansky with a 2-run homer got it to 6-2. Top of the 8th, Hernandez had a wild pitch, 6-3. And the big bottom of the 8th inning, Lance Johnson, 2-run triple, 8-3. Good guys.
So Roberto Hernandez looking to pick up his first save of the season. Jack Clark leads it off for Boston. Breaking pitch over, and the count 0-1. Clark has walked, flied to left, and struck out. Top of the 9th inning at Royal Stadium, Kansas City, leading Milwaukee 8-2. At one final in the National League, Reds beat the Pirates 2-1. Sweet lose a happy camper. Montreal at San Diego tied at 1, bottom of the 4th inning. St. Louis at Candlestick, no score, bottom of the 4th. Clark fakes the bunt. Takes the ball. And the Phillies at Dodger Stadium, no score, bottom of the 2nd. One pitch to Clark. Saxey, yes. Soft line drive. So with 1 out, that'll bring up Mo Vaughn. Mo has walked, robbed of a base hit on a beautiful play by Lance Johnson in the 5th inning, and he bounced out 3-1. Gas upstairs. 2-0. And once again, a reminder, immediately following tonight's ball game, it will be the 9 o'clock news with all the stories about the weather. Tornadoes that hit in and around Chicagoland. High into center field. Can of corn. 2 gone. Pinch hitter for Tim Naring, it'll be Scott Cooper. Naring was 0 for 3 on the evening. And Cooper hitting at 250. Takes a fastball high.
And Cooper is indeed the guy we've been waiting for all night long.
You had to come right when you get a lead, especially when number 21 started.
Oh boy.
Roger Clemens. 2-0 the count.
You almost start off the season, the series said, well, we got a chance to win 3 of these games. You know?
That's
Clemens.
Right. There's some gas in the count. 2 balls and a strike. Well, you know, like we talked about over the years, George Brett has been my favorite guy to watch play. And I have to say that Roger Clemens has become my favorite pitcher to watch.
Wow, yeah.
Catfish Hunter was just fun to watch as well. So the Red Sox down to their last bullet. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. 32,448 brave the inclement weather. Up high, full count. Yes. Roberto Hernandez comes in, gets the job done, picking up his first save of the season. Final score as the Sox win it 8-3, taking the first of this 4-game set. And we'll be back to wrap it up right after this.
Miller High Life, play of the game. First batter for the White Sox. Timmy Raines turns on this Roger Clemens inside fastball. Triples to right field. That really set the stage, the tone for the lineup for the White Sox all night long. They hammered the Red Sox 8-3 tonight. And we'll be back to wrap things up. Final totals right after this.
Chicago White Sox baseball has been brought to you by Miller Lite, the great beer that's less filling. Miller Lite and the White Sox, it's it, and that's that. By True Value. Got a tough job to do? You can do it with True Value hardware stores. By Southwest Airlines, offering low fares and frequent flights to many exciting destinations from convenient Midway Airport. Southwest Airlines, it's just plain smart. By Phillips 66 high-quality super clean gasolines, keeping your car's fuel injectors and intake valves clean for smooth driving performance. By your friends at 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven for 7-Eleven. By your Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana Toyota dealers. Toyota, I love what you do for me. And by Coca-Cola Classic. You can't beat the real thing.
Totals on the board for the first of this 4-game set against the Red Sox. For the White Sox, 8 runs, 15 hits, 1 error. They stranded 12 runners. For the Carmines, 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. They left 2. The winner, Wilson Alvarez. He is 1-2 on the season. Roger Clemens takes the loss. He is 9-6. And credit Roberto Hernandez with his first save of the season. And a reminder, our next White Sox telecast on Channel 9 will be July 4th, Saturday night, when the Sox host the same Boston Red Sox. Our broadcast begins at 6 p.m. So for my partner, the Whimperoo, Tom Pachurik, our producer-director, Skip Ellison, this is all Ken Harrelson. So long, everybody.